Alright, I'd like to call to order this regular meeting of the City of Bandera Economic Development Corporation at City Hall, 511 Main Street, Bandera, Texas, Thursday, January 27th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Next agenda item is a Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody will stand. Follow us in the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All board members are present with the exception of Lauren, who contacted me earlier today to let me know she would not be here. Agenda item number 3 is announcements. Do you have announcements from anyone?
I do. I ran into James Hernandez yesterday evening, and Backroads of Texas is doing an app which has been asked for quite some time, and I think Johnny Boyle is one of the ones who's been asking for this. Each business can upload their business and a little bit about them, if you're having special events, whatnot, and it's all free to merchants. And I think Keely might have made
I
some.
have some coffee if you want some.
Anyway, and they're having a cork popper, I believe it's April 14th, out at their location. But anyway, I thought some of y'all might be interested in this handout.
Awesome.
Yeah, I thought so too.
All right. Any other announcements? Okay. Really quick announcement is in front of all the board members, you'll see an acknowledgement of receipt of EDC property. Keely has made all of our manuals for us. And so before you leave tonight, if you will fill it out and under description of property issued on the spine of your manual, it says they're all numbered. And so you just put EDC manual number and whichever it is, fill it out. Make sure that you get those to Keely tonight before you leave, please. Alright. Anything else? Okay, next agenda item is visitors to be heard. Do we have anybody that signed up?
We have one, Jarrett
Okay.
Lamb.
Okay. Please
You want
be
me on a hot mic or
comments.
you want me like right here?
Either way,
Alright, this won't take that long, I'm in a hurry, I got a meeting. It was brought to my attention that you guys are trying to make a decision on some land that's being conveyed. We actually have the property listed next to Tractor Supply. I think there might be some misnomer about what the availability of infrastructure there is for that. However, I didn't see that property come on the market, and I'm curious as to why. And was there a valuation assessment done, or is it just up in the air at this point in time by the EDC? So, with that being the case, really that's all I have. I think it's imperative the EDC consider what the actual market value is of that property and perhaps pursue some type of appraisal valuation to determine before making a decision. So, especially with the monies that are being appropriated. All right, that's it.
thank you, sir.
And then Philip Berman. Go ahead.
Mr. Berman?
Good day, sir. So, I'm new to town. I've been here a couple of 6 months now. If I'm mistaken. And I like to make places beautiful where I find myself. And I enjoy concrete. It's not everybody's favorite, but it is mine. And I'd like to help the poorest of the poor through subsidies of the rich people, if you can call it that. So I'm going to start a factory in Holly Peak Drive doing precast concrete. And I have many abilities to make a lot of concrete very quickly with all international building codes being met. For cost-effective gravestones, houses, and beautification projects. City beautification, backyard beautification. I just have this ability and it's God-given, so I do not blow my own trumpet. I just make concrete and it's beautiful and I like it. So I would like to offer my services to the city of Bandera and the county of Bandera and any other county that wants my services. in Texas is my home now. I've been here 6 months. And I'm working on making friends. But I thought tonight would be a good start.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you,
My
sir.
name is Philip, and this is Walter Johnson, Philip Berman. Walter Johnson is my general manager. And I'm busy in the process of registering the company, getting my taxes and my payroll and all that stuff done right. And so thank you for having me over. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, isn't there the email?
Oh, I did send an email on to the place, they wanted it to be read for the record, sorry.
From Olivia Hopper. Okay, email dated January 26, 2022 to the Bandera EDC regarding January 27th, 2022 EDC meeting. Letter to be read and visitors be heard. I would like to voice my concern in the possible sale and development of land on Buck Creek Road across the street from the property owned by Silver Sage. My husband and I own a home on Indian Waters at 451 Red Wing Drive, which we purchased in 2011. We have always had issues with our water pressure, which is just above the state minimum pressure requirement. With the multiple home project that has already been approved for Silver Sage, I do not believe the city's infrastructure can support an additional development. Until the city's infrastructure and water supply / pump stations are improved and able to support additional usage, the development of unimproved property should not be added to the current systems. Thank you. Signed, Olivia D. Hopper, and her email address. Okay. Thank you. Anything else on that?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Alright, agenda item number 5, consent agenda. Do we have a motion? Laura?
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay.
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion? Alright, all in favor? All in favor, none opposed? Item number 6, discussion and possible action on the following items. 6A is amending the Best Western Agreement with the BEDC. Laura?
I'd like to make a motion that we mirror whatever the city does to correct the items that are not in compliance, so that we show a unified front, and that we change the reporting date to March 1st to also match what the city is doing.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I didn't hear that very well, so you were talking to
You-
Jared.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
You
kinda
want me to say all that again?
old. Say it again.
I make a motion that we mirror the city and their amending of the Best Western, their 380 agreement and our performance agreement. Many of the items are the same, and that whatever resolution they come up with, we adopt their resolution. And also change the annual reporting date to March 1, the same as the city.
And that's your motion?
Yes,
Second.
thank
Okay.
you.
Motion is seconded. Do we have discussion? Okay, so right now, the city has already sat down, had a meeting with them to work on the things that they're not in compliance with. I've been told that they are showing good faith in coming into compliance with those. And at the last city council meeting, city council did make an amendment to change their reporting date to March 1st, because it makes more sense for the reporting fiscally than trying to do a report either a year after the fiscal calendar is ended or 9 months prior to the calendar, or 3 months prior to the calendar year having ended. So that's where they're at on that one. I also just talked to the city administrator about, they'll be meeting with the city council in March is scheduled. I've talked to him about the possibility of the city council and the EDC having a workshop on that with the members so that we're all present, since we all have a dog in this fight. That way we're all present together and able to ask questions and make a good decision on how we amend these 380s.
What about payment? Payment, current payment?
So current payment for the training,
No, for
well,
infrastructure, are we gonna hold
so
up on that?
infrastructure, we need to talk to the lawyer about where we set on,
Okay.
where we set on that. Cause they did send all the paperwork. We need to sit down and talk with them, we need to sit down and talk with the lawyer. Cause
Okay.
right now, they're technically not in compliance,
Right.
so. Okay. Any other discussion points on that? Okay. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed. Okay, agenda item 6B, discussion and possible action on the Silver Sage offer on the Buck Creek property.
I'd like to announce that I'm abstaining.
Okay. All right. Yes,
I was fortunate enough to go to a meeting with Art, and
can we, before we can do any
Discussion,
discussion, there's
motion.
gotta be a motion for.
oh, okay. Well, I make a motion that we accept the offer from the Silver Sage for the.
Okay, do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, second and discussion.
Okay, so I was in a meeting with Art the other day and was really enlightened as to all the Silver Sage does. Their client food distribution has increased by over 91% since 2016, and the facility is really needed.
Absolutely. Alan?
Maybe my misunderstanding. Art does a great job. Silver Sage, we have something to be very proud of here in a town especially of 900 people. I think everybody agrees with that. And services the whole county, I might add, as well as surrounding counties, as far as that's concerned. But we are Economic Development Corporation. We are not Economic Philanthropic Corporation. Art offered a price originally that was for roughly the same price when he was sitting in your seat that he bought 3.5 years ago. And that's not gonna fly these days, guys. I mean, and God bless Johnny Boyle came up and offered it. He sweetened the pot a little bit, but when I say a little bit, I'm talking about a tiny bit. And then these guys kind of came to some kind of decision that Art could get this part, this acre, and he could get the other 3 point whatever acres at the same price per square foot. And I think it's, you know, we were not advertising to sell this property. Art came forward and offered for it. Obviously, that message got out within the city, and we got another offer. And I'm saying both offers are far, far below
Let's
market.
keep it to this one, this particular agenda item,
Yeah,
please.
well, I'm not gonna get into particular, I didn't give a figure. But they're far below, and it's just, no, I'm gonna vote no on that.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor? Okay. All opposed? Okay. Alan opposes. The motion passes to sell the property at the already negotiated price to Silver Sage.
How did it pass?
Oh, 3-1.
That's not a quorum vote.
That it is a quorum vote. We've got 7 on the board, 4 voted. That is a quorum.
We only have 6.
No, Laura didn't vote.
Laura's abstained from it because she's a part of the Silver Sage.
That's correct.
Mhm.
So it's a 2-1 vote, and your vote's positive, right?
My vote is to sell it.
Okay.
Yes. Okay,
Just want that to be noted.
yep. Absolutely. Okay. Item number 6C, John and Pat Boyle's offer on Buck Creek property. Do we have a motion? Yes.
I motion that we order an appraisal on the property to get an idea of the market value.
Okay. Do we have a second?
A second.
Okay. Seconded. Discussion.
Well, one of our past board members recently did comps on that property. So I think we're spinning our wheels again. I think we need to owe it to the Boyle family to tell them that their offer's not acceptable. And that doesn't mean we have to, we're under no gun to give them a counter offer. They were nice enough to give us an offer. They can come back again and give us an offer. But yeah, you know, Christine did it, or who? Yeah, Christine did
Christine
the
did.
comps on it, and golly, guys, I mean, you want to just give this stuff away?
Well-
We're an economic development corporation.
Yes.
So, where are those figures? I mean, I don't know what they are.
So, right now, the board voted months ago to go into negotiations. I went and talked with the Boyles and the realtor, brought back the negotiation to the board. The board decided to have a workshop and go into and discuss longer. So the negotiations brought back, which are in your packet, what they offered, what their original proposal was.
And I have that. I
Are
just
you
wondered
talking
what
about
the comps, how
Is
much
the
the
amount?
comp.
So there haven't been, I know that one of the past board member pulled comps. I haven't looked at what the comps are.
Okay.
So, my opinion on it is, yes, we're not philanthropic. We are economic development. We've seen their presentation. I've sat down with them. My understanding that, I don't know, Alan, if you've sat down with them individually and talked with them? Schedule a meeting? Okay. My understanding that you both have sat down with them. To me, the building of the our purpose for this board is to build economic development within this town. I believe that their project that they have in mind does that, and I don't think that we need to get full market value for a piece of land when it brings good value to the community. To me, that's our first and foremost, is what can we bring of value into our community that helps us economically, helps us grow, helps us sustain as a community. That's a tactic used by a lot of EDCs all over the country, is on land that they own, is offering it at an amazing discount to entice specific industries or whatever shortcomings a community may have, like in our case, affordable housing, things like that. And just having new development somewhere where our youth between 18 and 30, young families just starting a family can actually own a home or have a nice home, and with the possibility of retail space below it, so that we can entice a new generation of entrepreneurs to be able to do stuff. I think that their proposal fully is in the spirit of what we're trying to achieve as a board. Laura?
I'm not sure that we need to do, because we're talking about the motion of the appraisal. I almost would like to put it on the market for, say, 6 months and see what bids we get in. Set based on the comps that we've got, select possibly a realtor to handle it, someone outside, and see what we get in, because I do think we're leaving money on the table currently.
Well, I agree with what Laura's saying, and, you know, purpose of this board, not only to be the economic pusher, is good stewardship of our investment. And that's exactly what you're saying is that, you know, I'm not opposed to anything you said. But, that being said, we need to make sure that we're not, quote unquote, leaving a lot on the table. And, you know, and that's not good stewardship. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay. Laura?
This is, as everybody knows, there's two tracts of land that are in the city limits right now that are, you know, fairly underdeveloped, or undeveloped, I should say. And this is our ace in the hole. I think we ought to get as much as we can for it, because we can't go out and buy anymore.
It's not there.
Right, they aren't making any more land.
My concern, and I understand what you guys are saying. My concern is if we were to try to sell it at full market value. And one of our priorities that we've identified is affordable housing. If we sell it for full market value, making that affordable housing starts to come off the table when we're looking at how much land prices have gone up in this area. Now, that's not to say that if we were to see what the land is worth and come back at a later time, we can't still sell it for the amounts
Exactly.
that's being looked at.
And I don't think
So-
anybody's saying full market value, you know.
We just need to make sure, I've, in the last week, have had a couple of inquiries, one regarding medical, a possible interest, one potentially for housing. And before we just take the first offer that comes along, I think we need to look at everything that could possibly be out there. We have not, as a board, done anything with the property or tried to had anybody recruiting on this for at least 3 years. Art did a tremendous job when he was president of trying to get a hospital. But rural hospitals are a thing of the past these days. But the medical community has definitely changed in what they're doing. Christus coming into Burning with a hospital. They sure might like a feeder, clinic here. I just think we need to explore all our opportunities. And I'm not saying sell it at full market value. If something comes in and our primary needs in the community are affordable housing, I think we all agree on that, healthcare, and something to keep our youth from migrating out of the county. That's what I see. If we could get something that brings in, say, jobs that pay over $20 an hour, or something that really would make a young person want to stay here. That says a lot. There's just all sorts of factors to consider, and I think would be taking the first offer.
Any further discussion? Yes, Art.
If I may.
Yes, sir.
First of all, thanks for your previous vote. And so now let me take off the Silver Sage hat and put on my Bandera resident hat. I do appreciate the vote for the Silver Sage, but I'm having a hard time reconciling in my head that my offer was okay and their offer's not when it was the exact same dollar per square foot. Do I know? I don't have any idea what the Boyles are gonna do over there. I may love it, I may hate it. But, I'm just having a hard time reconciling in my head. You voted to accept the first offer on part of the land, but you have a huge problem accepting the same offer on the rest of the land. And I think that is going to open this board up to a tremendous amount of criticism down the road. And I think it's gonna open the Silver Sage up to a tremendous amount of criticism down the road. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments.
I think you're being way too gracious. I mean, Silver Spur is is Silver Spur. I always get confused, I live out there. But you're part of the city. I mean, you're part of the culture. I mean, I don't think you would even be getting some consideration at all, Art, if it wasn't for all the work you've done. You know, and to throw yourself in with a entrepreneur's bid, it's two different animals. You know, you understand business. That's the way it works. So I don't see there's a bunch of criticism at all. You know, that's just my opinion, but I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, you know, and I can't blame Johnny Boyle for trying to buy at the same price you are, or vice versa. But, you know, I think you deserve a nod, so to speak, because of what you've done for this community, and I know the Boyles have too. But it's kind of like two different animals. You know, don't throw yourself in the same situation.
If I may, if I'm hearing, you're saying that the difference for you is a nonprofit organization versus a for-profit business.
Well, I still voted against Art.
Yeah.
You know, but it's still too cheap, Art. But yes, you should be happy. But there's no reason to throw all the hats in the same ring, so to speak.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Okay.
Sorry,
Yes.
one more thing. So as far as how we are to look at things, whenever we have these offers that come in, if we did put it on the market, for example, and you get an offer, we can make,
Stipulation.
stipulations that they have to use it for certain purposes, or what was it called, the use?
Well, the covenants
The
and
projected-
everything that go
That
with
follows
it.
that follows the deed,
Well, right, because,
whatever,
we have to-
whatever the term is.
right,
We can go back as far as negotiating and put whatever stipulations we want to on it, and then they counter back with it. And it's just like if you were to go buy a piece of property yourself, or you're selling a piece of property, you can put whatever type of things like that there is.
right, whatever deed restrictions you want on the property. Because I do think that the Boyle's projected use is ideal, it's just what Simple
Yep.
City suggests.
Let me rephrase it.
Yes, it is.
As long as it's within Texas real estate law.
Right.
You can put it,
Right.
yes. Okay. Yeah. All right, any other discussion on it? Okay. All in favor?
Of the appraisal.
I'm getting the appraisal.
That was the
No,
motion.
Yeah.
The motion was to get an appraisal. Correct?
Yes.
That's the motion on the table is to have the land appraised.
The motion was to get an appraisal.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, all in favor and none opposed.
Should we make a motion?
We are still on this agenda item, so if somebody would like to make another motion, yes. Laura?
I make a motion that we decline the Boyle's offer at this time.
Okay. Do we have a second? Seconded by Alan. Any discussion?
We could decline it with giving them the opportunity to come back at a later time, or if they.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
they always have the opportunity to come back
Yeah.
and put it in?
We're not under the gun, guys.
Yeah.
I understand all the points that I've heard everybody make in discussion. I don't necessarily think we need to, I've pushed hard to bring this to a vote because I think it's fair
It's only
to
fair to them.
let people know, give people either a yes or a no. I would like to, I still stand by, I think what their vision is for it is a great vision for it, and I think falls in our peer review. So I would still like to encourage them to come back with it once we've got appraisal on the property.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, any other discussion on that? Okay. All in favor? All in favor, none opposed. Okay. Next agenda item, 6D, approval for administrative assistant to obtain a debit card from Bandera Bank for the checking account to avoid city reimbursements. Keely, would you like to, as the administrator, would you like to give some kind of background as to why this is something that's needed for us?
So every month we approve invoices for the same things over and over again. A lot of those have to do with reoccurring payments to the city where we have to cut checks to them. We have a checking account, we can use a card to set it up, automatic monthly payments. You'll never disprove or don't approve the annual or the monthly payments we have. I don't see a reason to have to cut a check to the city every single time we make a purchase. In QuickBooks, any office supplies, anything like that, these are simple purchases. This isn't something that you would use for one-off payments. This is for recurring payments only.
How often do you have to write a check?
Every month.
Are you
How
talking
many
about for the-
checks?
Like QuickBooks is every single month. Instead of having it on coming directly out of the EDC bank account,
Oh.
it comes off a city credit card. It has to be coded and then paid, and then when y'all approve the invoice, it goes through me and I cut a check to the city. And it's this reoccurring thing that we do every single month. And to just put it on an EDC card would be much simpler.
Let me show you that. I looked in our policy and procedure manual,
Mm-hmm.
and it says that all
So,
disbursements.
in the bylaws, 2 text 06, checks and drafts, all checks, drafts, or orders for the payment of money, notes, or other evidence of indebtedness issued in the name of the BEDC shall be approved by the BEDC Board of Directors and signed or bear the facsimile signature of 2 BEDC directors who are approved by resolution to sign such instruments.
And it's my understanding that this is according to the city guidelines.
Well, answer there, so never mind.
th- I mean, yeah,
It's fine with me.
I mean, I just wanted to look
I
at,
just brought it up to the board.
well, that's when I came and got the manuals to check, because I thought I knew it, I remembered it being in there. I see that where you're coming from, and, is there an issue?
There's not an
With-
issue, it's
with-
just
I know, it'd be easier.
inefficient.
No, I totally get you. I totally get you, and if you need for office supplies or anything
No,
like
it's
that.
fine. I'm just saying, it was just an idea, I didn't have.
No, I think it's-
bylaws, so.
No, I see where you're coming from. So,
Okay.
Moving on.
Alright. Moving on. 6E, approval of request by Bandera City Council for $42,500 for half of the principal of the Texas Water Development Board loan for the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund. So this is for the new wastewater treatment plant. I know the way it's written in there because that's the actual board for Texas and the fund that it's under. But this is for the wastewater treatment plant. So they're asking for the $42,500. Yes, Laura.
make a motion that we approve the $42,500 for the water treatment plant.
Okay.
Second.
Seconded by Alan. Any discussion? Alright, all in favor? All in favor, none opposed. Alright, and 6F, update on wayfinding signs.
Well, we've had a couple meetings, The committee is composed of a representative from CBB, the Chamber of Commerce, the Historical Society, City Council, and myself. We've made a little progress in identifying the signs. It's gonna be a slow process, y'all. This is not an easy task, but I did get the phone number of who to contact at TxDOT today, so I feel like I've accomplished a lot. I spent more than 8 hours trying to track that down. So, we'll come back to you with a plan as soon as we've got something a little more concrete.
Awesome. Alright. Any questions about the wayfinding signs while we're on this agenda?
Is that in conjunction with the Simple City plan?
In a way,
Okay.
in a way.
It was one of the short-term, low-cost ideas that they had to have
Yeah.
high impact for the city.
I like it. I just wondered if it was a part of that.
They talked about it, yes.
Okay.
Alright,
Excuse me, may I add to that conversation?
for the wayfinding signs?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Safety, road safety. So I notice that there's quite a lot of accidents on the corners of this town because a lot of people are going so fast that they don't realize that there's a corner coming up and they end up off the road, whether it's a Harley or a truck or a stranger or people from out of town going by. Generally on weekends after a couple of beers, it's probably the high accident rate time. So a very simple, very cheap solution to reducing accidents on our highways is by taking that reflective tape that they put on the back of trucks and the side of trucks, and you cut little 6-inch pieces or 10, 12-inch pieces, and you fold them over the T-posts on the fences, and you have orange, 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 red, 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 red around the corner, orange,
So
coming and going.
so the wayfinding signs that we're talking about,
Not the same thing?
not the same thing.
Okay,
Oh.
sorry, I was thinking road traffic
That's
safety, but, sorry, I beg your pardon.
So the wayfinding signs that we're talking about is
Directions.
signs when you come into town that point you towards the old jail.
City
Or
park.
things of
Parking.
city park,
Points of
Historic
interest in
nature.
town.
points of interest
Yes.
in
Of
town.
interest, sorry, I beg your pardon, I missed the.
That way tourists, when they're coming to town,
This is where you go to have.
they go, oh, okay, so there's a city park right there,
Okay,
less than a mile from the intersection.
beg your pardon.
Yes, Laura.
Can I just give him a little piece of information? TxDOT had a meeting today that I was at where I went to go get that number, and that's the only reason I went. But they are currently, and there's a website, and I'll have to see if I can get that information for you, where you can go in and identify specific areas in the county, like, and they broke it down, safety, walkability, traffic patterns, things like that. But you can go online and put your drop your comment in there.
Thank you.
I
I would
took
just
everything
go
out
to-
of one.
I would just go to the fire truck engine station and say, hey, where's all the accidents? They'll tell you exactly. where
Well,
to go
they
for
had a
all the
report that showed all
Okay.
of that today.
Really?
But anyway,
Okay.
So moving on,
Okay, I have one more question on
Yes.
this. Did the wayfinding signs include directing people to shops, more shopping
so.
down here?
It can. We had a preliminary idea of what things we wanted on the wayfinding signs. They were gonna be multifaceted, and then we also had
Okay.
the idea that some of them can be seasonal. So, you can have one that says, Christmas lights on Main, pointing directions, or whatever other, that can be swapped out seasonally with whatever events are going on. But yes, they're like shopping district.
Yeah,
or
cause
things-
there's a lot of people don't know, on that first block of Main Street, a lot of them don't know to come on down.
To come further down, there's still
Yes,
more shopping.
There's more
Correct.
shopping, and I think that's really important.
Yes,
I will take that back to the committee.
Okay.
okay. Any other comments on the wayfinding signs? Alright, agenda item number 7, comments from the board. Any comments? Laura?
Well, at that TxDOT meeting today, I did learn of a possible resource for us for getting some TxDOT funding for putting in the plugs for the electric cars. So I'm gonna be working on trying to follow through with that.
The electric charging stations?
Mhm.
Is that for the parking lot we have
Mhm.
or for?
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay,
That we talked about at our workshop.
okay. Anything else? Yes.
I missed the last meeting, but, the, check signing cards, have we done that yet?
We have not
the new
done that yet.
members?
Yes,
We have to sign something today.
Okay.
so we need everybody that's gonna be signers all on, ready to go at one time. We're down a board member. And city council has to accept her resignation and then appoint a new board member. So they have a new meeting on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, I actually have the
On
signer
Tuesday.
cards available to be signed tonight. That was before this was put on the agenda for city council, so
Okay.
they're available to be signed. Please don't run away when this gets
Yeah.
adjourned.
Okay, gotcha. Well, that
Kaylee's
answers
ahead
that.
of it to get it
Yeah,
done.
all that talk for
Thank you,
nothing.
Yeah. Alright. Alright, any other comments? Number 8, future agenda items.
What happened to the 21 acres that, I guess Donna proposed?
So,
You familiar with it?
do we have an actual proposal that's come in from her?
Yes,
But she pulled it.
it's not, I wouldn't technically consider it a proposal, it's more of information about the property she wants to sell the board. But there was an attorney, there was an issue because she was on the board at the time, I think it would be appropriate to talk about it now that she's resigned, so.
Okay,
Okay,
so we can put that on the next agenda.
let's
item.
put that on the next agenda.
Okay.
It's interesting looking stuff.
Yep.
So, we voted that we needed an appraisal on the rest of the property on Buck Creek, so who's gonna handle that? How's
So
that gonna-
for the next agenda item would be, action to be taken, discussion and possible action for getting an appraisal
Okay,
and the possibility of, getting an agent to represent that property.
okay. So that'll be on the next agenda.
Correct.
How do we go about selecting an agent?
That's
We
up to the
just
board.
make it recommendations and talk.
Up to the board, we can put out an RFP. Have agents that are interested in representing us bring in proposals for it, or we can just nominate. That's however the board decides they wanna do that. I would caution with as small as this town is, and having 2 real estate agents on the board, if for nothing else but just the way it looks, we need to be very careful about how we go about if the board decides to just appoint, make a recommendation and appoint a real estate agent. So,
Totally agree.
yes,
I like the idea of the RFP, but that's not for discussion tonight.
correct. Alright, any other future agenda items? Alright,
Oh, can you give us an update on the Connex?
there is no update.
Okay. All right. That answered that.
Yep,
Okay.
alright. Agenda item number 9. Can I get a motion? Yes.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
A second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? All in favor, none opposed.